How's it going, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the cast here at Celestia Radio. It's Matthias here with Nat and Dalit as usual, but we are joined this week by a special guest, a good friend of ours. Aqua's here to talk about some video games.
G'day, everyone.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, hello. My favorite pony is DJ Pone 3.
For not
I will
even
delete you off this cast before it even starts.
Oh wait, this is the gaming
I will
podcast, not the My Little Pony podcast. Never mind. Sorry.
Bro's favorite pony isn't fucking Fluttershy. Seriously, bro? Come
Oh
on.
my god.
You know, this entire podcast was a mistake. I'm sorry, Internet.
It's the Brony cast now.
I've made a poor decision.
The hilarious thing was like when you first said like what the podcast name was or whatever. I just like looked it up online or whatever, so I could just so I could find it or whatever. And the first thing I got was the My Little Pony radio show.
Yeah.
That has been dead for 12 years, so you know.
Oh, yo!
You ain't got no
So surely it's
competition.
open now, right? We can snag the fucking name.
To me, Celestia is like old school 1.0 D&D, right? That's the name of the one of the outer planes, the high heavens.
Isn't there a pony named
So-
Celestia?
Yeah, so I don't remember if her name is Celestia, but I think the world is called Celestia.
Oh, that's what it was probably.
I can't fully remember. There is a
Holy shit, we really are
a pony
fucking
god.
Brony podcast. Oh my
No.
God.
I was
Okay. I am putting the kibosh on this pony talk. I need it dead now. No more. I disallow this.
Thank you, Dalit. I need somebody on my side.
I've already made this joke once ages ago, and it was a mistake then.
Yeah, thank you. So, we're going to talk about video games, all right? We got one big thing to talk about and like a smaller thing in there as well. But first off, just introduce again, this is Aqua, a good friend of ours. He's also the host of the other podcast Dalit is a part of, Perpetual Backlog. So, if you don't listen to that, go check that out. I will leave links to that in the description, and we'll say all this again at the end. But yeah, so getting on to topic. Before jumping into that, I need to give an update to my co-hosts and about something I mentioned a few weeks back now. I told you guys about solo leveling, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I told you guys there was a gacha game coming out for solo leveling, right?
Right.
Uh-huh.
So I tried it out.
Right.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, I saw that coming.
It's okay. It is a okay game. That's what I'll say. I've pretty much already dropped it.
Ooh.
If we want to in the future, I'll talk about it a little bit more. But I just wanted to put that out there because I know I had mentioned
It
it.
got immediately dropped
I
by
wanted
the
that-
gacha guy. Phew. That's not a good
I
look.
wanted that in the cast somewhere in case anybody was curious. I did try it out, played it for a little bit. I dropped it after 2 weeks. It was about 2.5 weeks. Not because it was bad, but just
I'm not entirely
No.
too sure
Who-
about that.
who would have
don't
thought
convince me, Matt.
better things to play.
trashy Sakai anime, trashy Sakai gotcha.
Solo leveling isn't an isekai.
God damn.
We're saying wrong genre. But before we jump into our main game, there is a game that came out just a few days ago, and I figure we talk about it a little bit now, and that was the game that is making its waves on Twitter, the internet, Twitch, all of the above.
Oh, definitely
Wuthering
Twitch.
Waves.
Yep.
Definitely Twitch, yeah. Wuthering Waves, the like probably the most direct Genshin competitor I think we've had, I guess, since Tower of Fantasy.
Yeah, but Tower Fantasy is fucking dead. Like,
I was
it's
gonna
like
say,
full
was
on
Tower
dead,
Fantasy-
dead.
Actually, a competitor.
That's what they were shooting at, right?
Yeah, I definitely would say it's a competitor for like a solid
Real
2
question,
weeks.
though. Did it do well? Is
No.
it still...
No, it's
doing
dead.
well?
It's dead.
Okay,
It's dead.
yeah.
Even
fair,
though
fair,
they
fair. thought as
released
much.
an expansion, that did not save it.
Well, I mean,
I hate to hear it.
it's pretty much dead in the overseas side of things. In the like Chinese
Oh,
markets. Eastern markets, it's still being played.
Right.
I think.
to your point, I do think Wuthering Waves is the most direct competitor to Genshin currently. And let me tell you, when I think of a direct competitor, I can't think of a game that's going to be more direct
Yeah,
than a game that rips off Genshin's whole flow.
almost as a detriment.
Almost
Yeah.
as a
Frankly,
detriment.
yeah.
Almost as a
Yeah.
detriment.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of, honestly. There's a lot of one-for-ones in it. It's...
Especially the UI. Holy fuck, bro.
Well, I think the UI is a pretty safe thing to copy. That's probably not
Unless you're
the
tired of
worst
seeing
thing.
the UI.
Exactly.
True,
I think
I
they should
suppose
have
so,
their
but it makes
own-
it easy to read.
That is
yeah.
correct. Like there is pros and cons to just ripping the UI, especially like not just the UI, but like the UI placement is like 1-to-1, and it's like I get what you're going for. It's easier to read, but kind of wish you had your own identity.
Oh, for sure. That's something we're going to talk about
Yeah.
very soon, because that is the core of all of my complaints.
Yep.
Interesting. So yeah, Wuthering Waves came out. It's making a big wave, pun completely intended. And yeah, all four of us here have been playing it. Well, I've been playing it a decent bit.
I've been playing a decent bit.
But like the other three here are still in the beginning phases of the game most.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
That's very true.
It'll ramp
Yeah.
up for me.
But we've played it enough that we have some opening opinions and stuff. I figure talk about a little bit, get our thoughts out there, and Dalit, you sounded pretty strong there. So do you wanna open up?
Yeah, sure. So Wuthering Waves came out however long ago, fairly recently, and it's obviously the next big thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it does a lot of very, very good things.
Yep.
The combat in this game is exceptional.
So much better than Genshin.
Yeah, absolutely. But that really comes as no surprise, as this comes from the same team that did Punishing Grey Raven, and I found the gameplay in that game to also be exceptional.
Oh yeah.
Quick side tangent there. Wuthering Waves made me go log back into Punishing Grey Raven
As
for
it
the first
should,
time in
because I'm
4
also
months.
like considering doing that as well.
Yeah, the temptation is strong.
Now's a good time to save up. Anniversary in July, and since we missed the female Virgil banner, we have another chance to get her on the anniversary.
Oh, don't
Oh,
tell me
fuck
that.
that.
Don't tell me that. I'll re-download it.
Well, I'm telling it to you right now.
The only character I want in that game.
Frankly, I don't blame you. Comparisons to PGR aside, I think that's where my praise ends. The game does very little else of interest for me. I find it to be, as I said before, word for word, bar for bar, Genshin Impact again.
Yeah.
Story, character ideas, and like you mentioned, the UI, like so much of this game is playing it so safe by stealing from the most, or at least one of the most played and supported gachas out there right now. And that's super smart from a business standpoint, but it leads to absolutely zero creativity.
Yep.
And it drives me insane.
Yep. Absolutely agree with you, Dolan, right there.
Saying the most is pretty accurate, especially considering its direct competitor is a game by the same company.
True. Okay, so yeah, I feel pretty good in saying that then. On a super unfair, but I'm going to keep it as completely valid complaint, because literally everyone is talking about this right now. I am a staunch defender of dubs over subs. I think if I do not understand a language, I'd rather play in the language that I understand.
Yep.
I find a lot of the time the sub v dub debate is overblown and ridiculous. Not so much here. This English dub kind of sucks.
Yeah.
And it hurts me to say this because the cast and studio that is being used, as our guest Aqua pointed out to me, is the very same that's used by games like Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and Final Fantasy XIV. I know those talents are indeed talented. And yet, they are being absolutely squandered. And I have no idea what the direction is like in the booth, but whatever is there is not helping.
I can tell you what the direction is. There isn't any direction.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I genuinely believe this. I genuinely believe that there is no director and they have been given a script and been asked to send it in. And someone looks it over, making sure that there's no mistakes. But there are, outside of that, no second takes.
So
Mhm.
I can kind of counteract this a little bit. There is direction. Before I came in here, I actually just got done listening to Tectone's interview with 3 of the voice actors of Wuthering
fantastic!
Waves.
I would love to hear what they had to say.
And they were of GN, Alto, and Scar. While there was direction, and even as it was Kuro Games has even came out and said we're looking at a way to change the direction for this, because they did agree, or they did say that we did have a bunch of British voice actors, and we told them to go out of their comfort zone and do American accents or whatever. So
for what reason, I do not know, because that has not been important yet.
So they did, but like specifically for like Scar and GN, when they came in and recorded for it, they stated, they did their lines, and they obviously had somebody there like to tell them what they were looking for. But obviously, this is Scar and GN we're talking about. Those voices are actually really good in the game. So
I was gonna say
they're stronger,
because comparing Scar to fucking Yang Yang is like night and day. Like, cause like Scar actually has like when I finally like met him, I was like, holy shit, like an actual fucking character. And then Yang Yang just goes back to her fucking boring arseness.
Do I have a clip to show you later?
Oh my god.
Because it compares.
I'm gonna be honest, I'm still mostly unimpressed with Scar. I think he has a lot of personality, but his reads could use a lot of work as well.
So
yes, but like compared to everyone else,
in a different way. And yeah, comparing it to Yang Yang, I mean, listen, everyone's better than Yang Yang.
Oh my god.
No hate to the actress. Some people need help when they're working on a role that isn't like who they are as a person.
Right.
Clearly, her best understanding of a quiet introvert is this really breathy, kind of stilted tone. And it just didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
I think she has it in her to be better.
Also, you can tell, like, if anybody's out of their comfort zone with the American accent, it is definitely her. And that's not helpful.
Well, actually, if anyone's out of comfort on their American accent, it's, who's the cop? The cute redhead with the 2 guns. Because she just can't keep her accent at all. And honestly, I really like that she drops it a lot of the time. It gives her a lot of personality.
See, here's the thing. I don't think Yang Yang is British. Because she was on the 1.0 stream or whatever, and she did not speak with an accent. She spoke American, with an American accent. She did not have any British tendencies.
I'm being too kind.
Are we gonna see bad side on Dolit from Dolit?
No, because I've already said what I'm going to say.
So to your credit, Dolit, Alejandro also voiced the same opinion you have with Scar or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
He
fuck yeah, by the way. Hold on. Hell yeah, I'm gonna take that victory.
Alejandro, when he first heard Scar, he was like, okay. He was like, this is better. But he can still tell it's a British guy trying to do an American accent, and it's not as good. And then he even went in and like started voicing, like revoicing like Scar's things, and it sounded a lot better.
Oh, I'm gonna want to listen to that. He's got a really nice voice.
Yeah.
Alejandro, if you can't tell, we're all fans here on the cast. If you hear this, feel free to, reach out. Come on.
Hey, if you want to join the podcast, not join, but if you want to be on the podcast, just,
have you all
mail us.
Shame?
No, I don't have shame. Have you met
Are
me?
you going to say that you wouldn't like to talk to Alejandro, Sub?
Absolutely, I would. I'm just not going to embarrass myself to do it.
Throw away your shame, Dolan. Throw away your shame.
Shame, clickbait,
I cannot kill the part of me that cringes.
Be
gas-
naked
It's impossible.
and be
It's too
free.
strong.
gaslight,
I murdered it at birth.
girl boss. All right, got to do all that.
Hell yeah.
Oh god.
So I mean, to the credit, like Aqua was saying, Kuro's come out and said, and they put an official post out saying, "Yeah, we made a mistake." And after the lines and stuff they've already recorded, which the way they worded it, it sounds like they have a decent bit recorded, like after what's already in the game.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. We'll be hearing this level for half a year, I imagine.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they have said we're gonna change that direction. We're gonna let them, do the accents that are more comfortable for them and such.
Right.
So we're gonna have a little bit of a switch there at some point, but it'll probably be a little bit obvious.
Hey, to the 14 players among us, we've been here before.
I was,
No,
I was
no,
literally about to
no,
mention it.
No.
I mean,
We went from
I guess that's a change in
shitty British
cast, though.
accents. We went from shitty British accents to good British accents. This is not going from This is going from shitty American accents to possibly British.
You raise a good point. But the idea is that we will be able to navigate through this. This is the 1.0 stumblings. They've heard it. I'm stunned that the company was willing to swallow their pride so early on. And they didn't fight against this for a while. So I'm already really, really pleased with it.
this isn't the first time for Kuro Games, if I am correct, because they also had like a very tough time at the very start of Punishing Grey Ravens. So this ain't new, this ain't the first time. So they have experience, but the fact that they've sort of semi-repeated this mistake is, yeah.
So I'll tack on to that from two directives.
Right.
First one being Kuro did their first English voiceover for a game for PGR like last November.
Right.
So and then when they launched Wuthering Waves, they launched it with the English voiceover. And that was their first so they hadn't had a lot of experience doing the English voiceover before Wuthering Waves. Heck, I wouldn't be surprised if it was because they were doing the Wuthering Waves English voiceover that they ended up adding it to PGR.
Right.
That being said, from the other angle of what you were saying, and this is something we haven't actually tackled yet, PGR, like story-wise, had a pretty slow and rough start, and I suspect you'll see that with Wuthering Waves story as well.
Absolutely
Maybe
agree.
not.
Mhm.
Maybe not as long as it took PGR. Maybe hard to say on that one. But I think that's just kind of a gacha game in general. I think most gacha games for the most part, have pretty rough starts.
Maybe. Yeah.
There
No, I
are
think it's a safe
outliers.
take. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there are outliers out there definitely, but for the most part, they all have pretty mediocre starts. And Wuthering Waves, while it's not the worst one I've seen, the storytelling feels very. Their pacing is all over the place.
Yeah.
They go
so
really fast,
exposition
then they
heavy,
go
feels
really slow,
Yeah.
then it kind of just comes to a stop sometimes.
I do hear it
Um,
picks up around Act 6, though.
Oh, lovely.
I've heard either it's one of the last 3 acts or what it's going to get you, 4, 5, or 6. One of them is going to hook you.
Mhm.
Yeah, because the first 3 are not great, mostly because the deluge of fucking dialogue and just terminology shit that they just throw at you, expecting you to know what
Yeah.
the fuck they are saying. The only terminology I remember is long is dragon, and that's it. Everything else, I'm just like, I've no fucking idea what they're saying.
I really wish games in general, mind you, this is not just a gacha game issue, would feel more comfortable not info dumping at the start.
God,
of
yes,
something.
please.
I recognize that you want us to know what the characters are saying,
Yeah.
but having faith in your audience to pick up through context as characters carry on with their lives, because they're not just born the minute that we meet them. They've already been, I think the 3 characters we met have been doing what they were doing for a while now.
Right.
So it would have been nice to just ease in to an existing place instead of feeling as if it had been born in that minute and had to have everything explained. Elsewise, we would never catch on.
Yeah, there's a lot of tell don't show, and that is very detrimental
Yeah.
to it. Because
Always.
I don't even like remember majority of the fucking dialogues because I immediately like goes in one and goes out the out. Like I'm like mentally checked out because there's so much fucking talking. It's like when they were talking about the dragon, I wish there was like things happening on screen that isn't just two characters standing and talking. Like just anything.
Sure.
What doesn't help that is the fact that you get dialogue and you can't like scroll the dialogue box to see where after it cuts off
Yeah.
like what they're saying. So if you miss anything, you just missed it.
Yeah.
And there's no ability to go look at the log of things said. To see what
Yeah,
you
I was
missed.
going to ask about that. So there isn't a log at all then?
No,
What the
that's
fuck?
something I think
Interesting.
Huh.
I think that's something they definitely need to add. And after the first player survey goes out, I'm going to be putting that in there.
Right.
Right. Good call.
Because because Kuro has shown time and again they listen to their players as the abundance of nice gifts and free things they've been handing out
Yep.
to apologize for their mistakes over the first few days have been
Yep.
like showing.
Mm-hmm.
They listen to their players, and the history with PGR shows as well. They like to listen to their players. It is one thing that sets Kuro apart to me. They show that they care about their player base.
This
Yeah.
game's actually
So-
called Wuthering Waves: Genshin Could Never.
Actually, though.
Actually, yes. So yeah, that's gonna be one of the big things I put in.
Except for
the
good
first
voice
survey
acting.
that goes out.
Except for good voice acting. There we go. Because Genshin
It's
actually,
true.
Genshin actually
acting is
does.
actually very
Yeah,
good.
I'll have to give them that.
Well, I think voice acting will pick up once they fix their direction things. So,
Yes, I do as well.
I'm hoping, like I said, like we were saying, the story is going to be chapters 4, 5, or 6 or of Act 1 that'll grab you, because I've seen different people hit it at different points. A lot of people say 6. Some people say 5. Though they say 5 is also one of the most rushed chapters.
Yeah.
it feels like.
6 is the end, if I recall correctly. Apparently,
Yeah, 6 is the end currently.
yeah, the end of Act 6 is apparently
And,
really hard.
Hmm.
And Act 4 gets some people, because I know Act 4 is what because I was watching Sayu stream today. It's what got him. Act 4 was what got the hook on him, and Act 4 is also what got the hook on me. I was like, okay, things got really interesting here. So really, I think the story's got the potential, and the world building definitely has the potential. And yeah, gameplay's a blast. The game is just fun to play.
The actual game.
Of all the negative things I have to say, gameplay is not one of them.
Yeah.
The gameplay's been phenomenal.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Also just the level of just pure quality of life from Go that, like, I streamed Wuthering Waves when it came out on the launch night, and I saw some ore, and I was like, oh, let me mine some ore, because no, I'm gonna need this, right?
Yep.
Broke the rock, and it just went straight into my inventory, and I was like, oh my
That's
god,
nice,
I don't have to chase this stuff. Peak. Genshin, sorry, you're out the window, baby. This
Yep.
this right here is the quality of life I need.
Yep.
And then it does the same thing with enemies. Everything just goes right to your
Yep.
inventory, and I'm just
Mhm.
like, I appreciate that. Chasing those items down in Genshin is just not gonna lie. So honestly, since playing this game, I look at Genshin on my like desktop over there, and I'm like, I can't find a desire to open you right now.
Now, what it is that it's Windows key, control panel, uninstall. That's what it is.
Yep.
So I'm not gonna do that for one reason, and that's because I am invested in Genshin's story. So what I'll probably do is every time they do a main story update, I'll go play through the main story, and then just leave it alone again, just because I want to see what they end up doing with that story, because I'm invested at this point.
Right.
Uninstall after Natlan.
I'll uninstall after they finish the first story arc, like Dalit did with the end of Endwalker.
Yeah, pretty much. Though about that,
But he's back.
I am playing through now to the end of Endwalker. Not gonna pop into Dawn Trail, but I am playing through to the end of Endwalker.
Interesting.
What's the point? What's the point, Dalit?
I mean, I had free time.
Quite literally free time, because
That's that.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
they didn't make me pay.
yep,
Yeah, but
the free 4
but
days.
that's also a waste of time. You'll be doing other things.
I mean,
Well,
I guess
That free time was stolen
True.
because
God,
you
it
see,
was.
It was, yeah.
all four of us got into a really neat little thing. There's a game coming out that we've talked about on the cast before that I think our listeners are well aware how excited we all are for this game.
Yeah.
If you haven't guessed, the first Descendant did its final technical test this last week.
Yay, Warframe 2.
All four of us got
Actually,
into it, and all four of us partied up and we played through it. And overall, I think the opinions have been very positive from all four of us.
I would say so, yeah.
I'd say so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do one of you want to start us off on First Descendant stuff? Or before jumping into that, does anybody have anything else they want to add on to Wuthering Waves? Any final opinion thoughts?
I'm
Kuro
just
games.
happy.
Give me more rolls. Give me
That
more
as
pulls.
well. I'm just happy that they have
That's
a
probably coming.
Sephiroth character. So yeah, top notch.
Yeah, true. Kalchara, so cool.
The game is like 50%. Like all the characters, like it's 50% like Virgil, because like there's like 7 different characters that each have a different skill from Virgil, and that's their entire
I still can't believe it took me that fucking long to realize the Virgil reference at the very top of that fucking mountain.
I was
Wow.
dying that it took you that long.
Chair with
Well,
the
I just-
daunting
I-
lore.
Bro.
Yeah, like it just didn't hit me, and then yeah.
I
Just
mean,
gonna wait
it
till
should
they
have
make
hit
a
you
female Virgil for this game.
when you sit down in it. You get the achievement called
Yeah, power.
Power.
Yeah. But I didn't put 2 and 2 together because I wasn't thinking of DMC at the time. But yeah. The katana, the
But,
chair,
yeah.
the fucking trophy. Yeah.
How far up you are? Yeah, no, a lot of it.
Yeah.
A lot of it fell into line. It's really good.
Yeah.
I appreciate how cheeky they were.
Yeah, they're
They-
very cheeky with their trophies.
Kuro's is not shy about showing what they enjoy, and what
Mhm.
they're fans of. They like their DMC, as we saw with Alpha.
There's a
ACR.
trophy called The Dark Knight Rises. It's just killing 100 exiles.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
Yep,
hey.
I got that. I think I got that today, actually.
I wish I had that as a
Um,
title. That'd be fucking awesome. But yeah.
But yeah, Wuthering Waves, pretty good, and looks to only improve.
Yeah. It definitely needs improvement.
You'll definitely
That is
you'll
not.
definitely hear more about it here on the cast, because of it, I was down to 1 gacha game. I was only playing Star Rail, and I'm like, man, this feels good. Only having 1 gacha, this is peak. I'm back to fucking 4 because of Wuthering Waves, and I'm just like,
Fun,
No!
fun.
relapse. I don't want to do this.
The
Feels
gacha
bad,
addict
man.
relapse.
I can't escape it. But back to the main topic, the First Descendant. First off, this game is just fun.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
holy crap.
Yeah, it's very good about that.
Like, I'm not sure how I want to start it. Do
Just start at the very
any
start.
of you?
We
Well-
skipped all the cutscenes because it was a fucking test. We're just gonna be straight
That's
with
what
you.
I did. Yeah.
We don't know the story. We just know
I know.
does
I watched some
something.
cutscenes. I watched some cutscenes.
Oh, well, yeah.
I watched some in the beginning,
Yeah.
so I got the intro.
I watched
Yeah,
some of the
something
last
about
ones.
And-
Ironheart.
It was some of the last ones.
Yeah.
So he's got a little bit of the end of what we got in the title. So I got a little bit.
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
end.
Yeah.
something about
Uh,
sacrificing some robots to make a bigger robot. I don't know. I mean, I didn't understand it, but I watched it.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like it's gonna be a good story.
I know.
Its story's not gonna be good. I'm
The-
just gonna be real here.
I got a lot of like Halo vibes from the story.
Same.
Intro sections. So I think it might be a slow burn at first, but I think the story has the potential to be something pretty good. A lot of Halo vibes and a little bit of Warhammer vibes, and that just might be because of how some of the enemies look.
Right.
Oh, okay. I can kind of see
Yeah, I
that.
can see
Yeah,
what
yeah,
you're saying
Yeah. But yeah, starting off, you get a nice little tutorial to kind of get the play. You get to pick one of three
Mhm.
of the Descendants. You get Big Tank Boy,
Ajax.
whose name is Ajax.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ajax. You get Ice Girl,
Viesa.
whose name is
Yes.
Viria.
Yes.
Vestia.
VSO.
Viesa. And then you get Grenade Boy, whose name I just
LeBron James. I don't know. His name
No,
starts with fucking Leo.
It's
Lepic.
Lepic.
It's Lepic, right?
Oh,
It's Lepic.
Lepic. Okay,
Yeah.
I was.
Or Lepic.
La Pig.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought it was like
No, it's a weird name.
something else. Whatever.
Anybody and anybody who
it's an
plays
odd
that
name.
is just a fuckboy.
Wrong. Just wrong.
Yeah.
This
Okay,
is
hold
flat
on.
wrong.
Hold on. One of his skills really useful. It's
Sure.
a big gravity well that pulls everything in for AoE.
Yeah, but why?
So he pulls everything
why
in,
would you do that?
and then everybody just drops all their. He pulls everything in, and everybody drops all their AoE on all the enemies.
But Bunny exists.
That.
we
So
will.
Oh, we're gonna talk
we
about
will
that.
talk about Bunny. Just hold your horses.
this
Oh,
is
no,
more
I've got some
effective
complaints
AoE.
about that.
Ooh.
But you get to pick one of the three to start off. You get a little bit of a tutorial, learning the gunplay, a little bit of the movement, and then you get a fun little end of tutorial boss fight where you very temporarily get to use your character's full kit and kind of see what it plays like, and then you're thrown into the actual game itself, the leveling,
Progression.
grinding, missions, progression,
Yep.
all of that. This was a technical test. It was run for a very short time. So they gave a lot of the free
Premium currency.
currency
Mhm.
that you can buy to expedite and unlock things, try out things.
Yep.
Which was really nice. So that was cool, getting to actually get to play with
Mhm.
all the stuff. But yeah, the easiest way to describe it is probably exactly how we described it when we were talking about looking forward to it, and that's Warframe, because in many ways it's just the Warframe model,
But it also has
some minute differences. It is more on the gunplay side of things than it is, whereas Warframe is so like I will describe it this way. First Descendant is like a shooter, Warframe's like an action game.
Okay. I agree. I think the better way would say is that the gameplay is more Destiny, while everything else in terms of like progression is more Warframe. Other than, the skills, because I remember Destiny, but in Warframe you have 4 skills.
I'd say the
1, 2, 3,
and
the
four
gameplay is
short.
actually
Oh.
kind of more Gears than Destiny, because Destiny's first-person shooter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Regardless, I think this game actually does stand on its own in terms of a lot of aspects. Like it is very much of its genre,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
And so there's going to be so much overlap, and where Warframe is kind of the king of the free-to-play looter shooter,
Yep.
and had it, at least according to people, locked down for forever. This has very obviously stolen a lot of that.
Yes.
But in terms of like you are a special person with a gun, or I guess 3 guns, and like 4 abilities. Yeah, it's I don't know about comparing it to another game, because it kind of ends after that.
Well, that's
Again,
why I said it's
3
like
guns, 4 abilities.
it's kind of like Destiny, because Destiny was 2, 3 guns, and then like all the fucking guns that like drop and you pick up, and then you have like an array of like guns you can like dismantle, because that's not a thing in
Yeah,
Warframe.
but I don't like making that comparison, because I don't think it's like Destiny past that. I think there are a lot of Destiny isms, but just like there are a lot of Warframe isms, and getting people too caught up in that causes like this issue where people are going to want to push back against that notion.
Right. And we should make the emphasis that yes, it pulls a lot from Warframe, from Destiny, from these other games, but it does so in a way to present itself as a unique entity in and of itself.
Yes.
You can see
Yes,
the
which I think
inspiration
is
from other
terribly
games.
important to say after
Yeah.
what we said about Wuthering Waves,
Oh yeah, true.
which does not do that.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, very, very fair. But it is worth making that emphasis that it does present itself as a unique entity unto itself. You see the inspiration, sure, whether it be Destiny, Warframe, whatever. Whatever one you've played more is probably what you will see more of,
Right.
honestly.
I think
But yeah, it is itself.
I think the reason why we're doing the isms, especially for Matt and I, is because it just helps to clarify what the game is presenting to us. when we see the like mod in your weapons and your Descendant, it's like, okay, this is Warframe. I understand it. Boom, boom, boom. Instead of going, what the fuck does the game want me to do, right?
Yeah.
So
No, I agree with that. I was mostly pushing back against Destiny because I just didn't see what
Right.
you saw.
I will say, huge quality of life in First Descendant over Warframe is there's only one type of like reactor
oh,
for
thank
weapon,
fuck for
Descendant,
that.
all of that.
Yes,
And then just the one form of
the one
like
former,
item
yeah.
for weapons.
Until like 2 years later.
So there's only two of those
Yeah, so
different type of items.
yeah.
So that's a nice little thing. Whereas Warframe makes that like there's too many of them.
there's two Oricon catalysts that you can put on to either your Warframe or your weapons, and then you have like 5 different fucking formers to put onto your weapons and your Warframe
Yeah,
and all that shit. It's fucking insane.
2 different style of reactors, like 5 different type of formas. Then you have adapters.
Yeah.
And you have, I think there's 3 different types of those.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's just
it's
Warframe makes too many of those. This really keeps that simple
to
down
be
to like
fair
one
though.
does one thing.
Warframe is like what 10 years old, so it has that age where like just more mechanics on top of more mechanics and all that, and nothing's really scaled back. So yeah. But yeah, thank fuck. One thing to put onto your weapons or Warframe or your Descendant, sorry, and one type of former, which is very fucking nice. So yeah.
And then so yeah, the technical test had, I want to say, 9 different Descendants you could pick from.
Oh, it's got to be more than that, surely.
Was it more than that?
2 ultimates, and then there was like 1 row.
I'm not counting the ultimates. I'm not counting the ultimates.
Well, there was definitely 1 full row of characters, which was what 5, 6.
Yeah, so however many rows, there was 2 rows plus 1 additional character.
Well, maybe it was fine then. Yeah.
Yeah. So there were 9. I want to say 9 different Descendants you could unlock, play, try out.
There are 11 Descendants in total.
Yeah, 11 if you count the 2 ultimates. And so ultimates, if you play Warframe, you understand what those are because they're
not
just
including
primes.
Oh, not including the ultimates. Yeah. Okay.
So there's 11.
There's 11 you can. Okay, so there's 13 total then. 2 ultimates, and like I was saying, if you played Warframe, you understand what ultimates are because they're just primes.
Yep.
The difference between a prime and a non-prime in Warframe is the same difference between an ultimate and the non-ultimate Descendant.
1 more polarity
to a T,
and a few like stat buffs compared to the 2.
I think it isn't 1 more polarity. It's just they have some already installed, whereas I don't think regular Descendants.
Right.
And then yeah, some stat buffs over the regular version, which minuscule in the long run, I think, but maybe I'm wrong in that.
I don't think it's minuscule for the early mid game. Maybe, as you said, the long run. Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
It just depends on how much they want to power scale. Depends on how quickly they want to power scale the game. Because for Warframe, it took quite a bit of took a couple of years to like, really get like properly overpowered, and then once the devs realize, high power means more players fucking play because they love the power fantasy and all that, they just start scaling fucking everything, enemies, your own Warframe, the weapons, the mods, all that shit. So depending on what Nexon wants to do, yeah, it might take a while, which I highly doubt in my opinion, because this is Nexon we are talking about. So yeah,
that old Nexon.
Yeah, I hope you guys like fucking pay to power through, pay to win.
I don't know about pay to win, because I figured that's what you're going to say. When it comes to the monetization aspect of the game, I do worry a little. I mean, like you say, it's an Exxon game. They've earned their reputation.
Right.
And there are already so many things in the shop. In fact, this being a technical test, we had the gates thrown wide for
open.
us. We got everything. All characters, experience and gold boosts,
Yep.
2 battle passes, the ability to build quickly, cosmetics, everything.
Yep.
Most of that would use the premium currency. And it's because of that that I actually genuinely kind of have a hard time figuring out how this game is going to really feel when we don't have access to that. I mean, add to the fact that, like, I don't think any of us played by ourselves. There's the question of, like, how the game's going to feel leveling through. But just in terms of the shop alone, I don't know. That's a big, hefty, well-built shop already.
Yep.
And this is quite literally pre-release, guys.
Yep. So pretty much, so I did play a little bit after our first play. Granted, my leveling experience was very skewed because of those boosts, as you mentioned, Olid. It was pretty quick. I got two characters to like level 10 that night. So yeah. But yeah, when the game officially released, you can bet your bottom fucking dollar that those boosts are there from day one, from the 0 minutes, 0 seconds when the game is live. Those boosts are there.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see, as someone who doesn't plan to put a bunch of money into this game immediately,
right?
If possible, but let's not be unreasonable here. I'm going to have to at some point.
I hope you like no weapon slots.
Do you think you're going to have to at some point?
Yeah,
there's a potential, yeah, especially because you have a limited number of slots for Descendants and weapons.
Yep.
You will eventually probably.
I imagine it's gonna be like Warframe.
Warframe did eventually add a way to get those for free, so now you don't actually ever have to spend in Warframe.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
But it is kind of
when
grind.
Warframe finally, it is kind of a grind. But when Warframe finally added a battle pass, that was one of the big rewards.
The Night Wave.
You don't have to buy their battle pass. You just have it.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's a free. It's a free battle pass. The Night Wave. You just play the fucking game and you get it.
Yep, and then those battle passes are weapon and Warframe slots. So you never actually have to buy.
Yeah, but before
I imagine that will not
to.
be the case.
No, I don't think so.
I imagine that will
not
not be the case at launch, if ever, for this game. So I do suspect at some point I will have to buy a few.
Maybe.
True. Possible. But one way or another, you're going to be paying for something. Either the slots, the battle pass.
Yeah.
And to be honest, the one thing that I will give them, I do like their cosmetics. Not all of them, but I do like them enough that I would consider it. I hate their paint system though.
Yep.
I don't like that in order to color those cosmetics, it's RNG. That felt really, really bad.
Oh yeah.
Even with all the free money in the world, that's lame.
Yeah. Just give us just a color palette that is like caliber. That's what's called the premium currency. It's like 50 caliber. This is your color palette. This is what you get. Boom, done. But no, they want to gatekeep colors under fucking RNG. That's just fucking weird.
Yeah, I don't mind that they're single use. I've played enough games. I get it. Just let me select either the color or like Nat said, like a palette of colors. Hell yeah.
Yep.
That's fine. Because I'm very likely going to get attached to 1 or 2 units and put a bunch of time into them. And yeah, I'll want to trick them out a little bit.
Yeah.
And they're only ever going to add more, so that's always going to increase.
Exactly.
I will say, I'm not a huge fan of the way they are going with their battle pass, like the style of their battle pass. I'm not a big fan of.
Yeah, it's kind of confusing, hey.
It reminds me...
Is it not just unlock it and play?
Well, no and yes.
I would agree with the no and yeah, but mostly no on that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
You get missions, you do the missions, you unlock you level up your battle pass.
Right.
When you level up the battle pass,
you have to use those medals to buy the stuff
like,
on.
Oh, that's right. You get those currencies, the battle pass currency,
tertiary
Jesus
currency.
fucking Christ! Yep.
Yeah, it's like a mixture of. I'm I'm trying to think of battle passes from games I've played. It's like a mixture of Apex and Fortnite's battle pass, I think, kind of being put together and how it like functions.
Yeah, because you have to buy you have to buy a specific spot in Fortnite's battle pass because you get stars as you play the game,
Right.
Oh, I didn't. This is the first I've heard of
and
this.
you use those stars to buy to buy things in the battle pass or whatever. Like, so when you level up, your level up unlocks unlocks the battle pass, like unlocks stuff in the battle pass. But you also get stars, and those stars are used to buy stuff in the battle pass, and each thing in the battle pass costs like a certain amount of stars. So
Right.
So finishing the battle pass doesn't necessarily mean you can get everything on it. You have to grind
Ugh.
just a little bit more. Question mark?
Yeah, kind of. I did a complete
Ugh.
battle pass in Fortnite. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to play the game. You have to play the game.
Right.
Right, of course.
Yeah.
But it never felt too daunting. And like I bought
Okay.
the battle pass in Fortnite once, and it felt good. I mean, half of the stuff that you get in the battle pass is also just V-Bucks that you can then turn around and buy the next battle pass.
Oh, nice.
So you get there's almost like 100 V-Bucks on like every other page of the battle pass, and so you need I
Right.
think you need like 700 V-Bucks or 700 or 800 V-Bucks to get
Purchase the next
to purchase
pass.
the next pass. Yeah.
Okay.
So, Aqua, I know you used a lot of that free currency to max out the battle pass in the first Descendant.
Couldn't tell you what I got.
So, yeah, so you didn't actually do the actual like mission leveling process.
Yeah, I just bought
thing.
the entire thing.
So I can say from the like roughly 2 days of playtime I had, I leveled up that battle pass twice. So I only went to like level 3. So I looked at their missions briefly, don't really remember what they were, but I feel like they need to maybe rework those missions on the full release, because if that's the way they go with it, it's going to make the battle pass a real slow burn to even get those levels.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, because they were just throwing currency at us, so I just said I may as well just throw it at the battle pass.
Correct.
I had the one
Yeah.
Descendant I was gonna play as, so, and I got the cosmetics for her, and then I was just like, oh, I would just throw the rest of this in the battle pass, and I completed the battle pass. I couldn't tell you what was in the battle pass. I know it's a lot of like experience up and like gold up stuff as well, but
There was a couple weapon skins,
Yeah.
but like they were not that
Oh,
great.
let me tell you, those were not weapon skins. In the initial battle
Oh,
pass,
Yep.
their weapons in the
Yep.
battle
that's right.
shop thing, those were cosmetic.
oh, those are all weapons in the
Right.
in that battle pass. Oh, damn.
Yeah, because
Yep.
I unlocked one of them. The first one, I was like, oh, okay, whatever this is
Same.
a skin for.
Yeah.
And then I
Yeah, the
realized
launcher.
it's not a skin.
Let me tell you what,
That's a
I
weapon.
probably didn't use it because most of the stuff that dropped, I
No,
replaced
no, no.
like immediately. So.
No,
Yeah.
it would have dropped at level 1 anyway, so.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And you would have to level it up.
That's a fun thing to kind of transition off of briefly, if just to transition off of the battle pass
Sure.
thing in general. Is the weapons, right?
Right.
So the game, as you're playing, you think Destiny, you think Borderlands. As you're killing enemies and stuff, they're dropping just loot on the ground that you're picking up as you walk over it, and it's dropping in your inventory. So you're getting a bunch of different guns. And the guns have rarities from normal to rare to like
Very rare.
epic,
Yeah, whatever.
very rare,
Called
epic,
ultimate.
whatever.
Purples.
Top.
Well, Ultimate's the yellow one. Ultimate's the
You're
yellow
talking
one.
about
I'm
purple.
specifically not saying that one. Yeah, I'm talking about purple. I can't remember what the purple one's called, but yeah, you get a couple different rarities that'll drop, and it drops up to that purple, which is the like tier below the highest, and then they'll drop at like different levels and whatnot. So something I asked myself and just kind of asked aloud, I think when we were playing that first time all together, I was like, what's the point of crafting the weapons that are ultimate when weapons just drop all over the place. I was trying to figure that out.
Right.
Well, as you play through the story does end up having like a side mission that kind of explains why you would do that. And I think it's a really cool system that does encourage the ultimates. So all the weapons you can craft are ultimates, and the weapons you got from the battle pass were ultimate weapons.
Yep.
Ultimate weapons also first and foremost have unique abilities in some shape.
Yes.
Like the one the side mission directs you towards crafting is an SMG that whenever you kill something, it makes an electric burst whenever they die around it. So it does some AoE damage.
Yep.
Which is pretty cool. But ultimate weapons always come at level 1. And if you want to upgrade the level of the weapon to match like your level or the level of the guns you would drop, you got to go craft an item, and then you use that item to take one of the drop weapons you've got, and you transfer the level over. So you say the ultimate weapons all come at level 1. You craft the transfer item, and you take this random level like
20.
32 gun that I just picked a number. The 32 gun that you picked up off the ground, and you plop it down, you plop the transfer over, it destroys the 32 gun and makes the ultimate weapon level 32. And then it just jumps that ultimate weapon stats through the roof to level 32. And the ultimate weapons stats are considerably better than regular weapons of all of the tiers.
Oh, for sure.
And they have the special abilities. So they're obviously
Honestly,
the weapons
just
you
the fact
want
that
to
they
go
have
for.
that unique ability as well makes them worth it. Because I think that's finally where weapons feel the best and not just interchangeable.
Agreed, yeah.
Agreed.
So that's how the ultimate weapons works and why you would craft weapons. So I think that's ultimately I think that's really cool and a neat way to handle it, because it like that early game, you're not really hindered or limited on what weapons you get or craft or whatever. It's like the same pool of weapons that can drop essentially.
Right.
And they're not too hard to get. Once you get up there a few levels, the weapons go up with you and they start dropping. It's pretty straightforward and simple. And I think I like the way they were handling the weapon system. And
Agreed. So far, anyway.
I can finally tell you the weapons you got out of the battle pass. All right. Because I remembered.
Oh, okay.
I ended up having like 6 or 7 like was that launcher like ultimate launcher weapons
launchers.
that I just like traded in for that I just dismantled because I was just like whatever, because they were all low. I didn't realize they were level 1, so I just got rid of them.
Yeah, I think all the ones.
So yeah, they were all launchers.
I recall. I did look at them all.
That makes sense, because I was trying to figure out how you had so many.
Yeah.
So, you know what would be fucked up with those ultimate weapons?
Go on then.
If they had constellations.
Hey, will you shut up? I don't need Nexon ever listening to this podcast and be like, you know what we should do? We should do constellation. So that means you need to get like 6 of these ultimate weapons
just for ultimate, just so they could be good.
So whilst I don't believe that's going to happen, you're doing so much grinding for just the modules you're attaching to these weapons anyway, and the modules you're attaching to your descendants, that there's plenty enough to grind for.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like, mod grinding is very much a thing in this fucking game. And it will be once it's officially releases. And I don't know about you guys, but I didn't level up my modules because I just felt like there's no fucking point.
There wasn't, but I did at the end anyway.
Right. I mean, we did get like 52 million fucking.
They get
they gave us
everything
everything that was available to us.
Yeah.
As far as like the drop rate of the level up material for the mods, and just the drop rate of gold in general, it felt pretty good from the amount of time we played. I know we had some kind of boost.
Oh yeah, we had boost.
So that.
Oh, we had all the bursts.
But I didn't see a booster for the level up
drop
material.
rates.
For the level up material for for the modules. So if that's the rate that they're going to drop at, that's not a bad rate.
I think the rates were increased for this
Because-
technical
reckon
test.
them.
I
Yes.
absolutely
I
believe that this
would believe
is a
that as
better
well.
representation than what we will see.
Yeah.
I would believe that as well, but in the hopes that if they would keep it there, that's a nice little sweet spot. It's still like not high enough that it's too easy. You still have to grind a decent bit to really max out those modules, but it's
Mhm.
not as slow as like Warframes. That's for sure. Warframes it'll take you.
I don't think
so.
that module leveling should be the issue, because leveling your modules comes with a pretty evident downside. They get more expensive.
That's what putting
And
you can
that's
only-
what putting formas on the things do, or the First Descendant's equivalent is you put a polarity
Yes.
slot on it, and then when you
Yeah.
match the polarity slots, it decreases the cost.
Yep.
But not even that. We have a cap for how much we can put on. Even with
You
that,
can double that cap.
I'm aware. My point is,
Trust me, I told
when
Dolan.
leveling, we're going to have to do this balancing act of, do I have enough points that if I level this up, I can keep all of my current modules in?
Yes.
Or do I have to remove one for a couple levels until I get my next mastery point that increases how much capacity I have?
Yeah, this is
I think there is a fun little game within a game there, and I also believe there will be capacity boost sale items.
yeah.
Unlike the others, I can't say that for certain yet because it wasn't in the test.
That game you're talking about, Dollar, is only going to be played in the early game. Once we get to mid and late game, boy, capacity cost is just not going to fucking matter.
So
That's good to hear.
So yeah, that's very likely it won't. But to that early mid game, the way you would handle that, it doesn't work as well with some of the rarer modules, but basically just dupes of modules. Because if you level up one, doesn't mean the dupes are leveled up, so you keep one that's
Yep.
unleveled and
Yeah, it's the
Cycle
one
it in.
specific module that you selected.
yeah.
It's not the entire bunch that you selected.
So there's a reason to kind of keep some of those dupes instead of doing whatever it is you do with all the extra dupes in this game, because I never bothered messing with the dupes. too
Also,
much.
I don't know if they're gonna release trading from the get-go, so if they do, or if that's in the future patch, obviously you can trade mods. So yeah, having
can
dupes
you?
is
Apparently,
still-
trading has not been a thing in any beta or test thus far.
yeah, I figured as much.
wouldn't hold
I've
my
not
breath.
seen anything mentioned about it either. So
Yeah. I'm just trying to remember when the fuck did Warframe introduce trading, because it definitely wasn't at the start of the game. But I think my point still stands that in the future trading will evolve and you can trade modules and all that between each other.
Yeah.
So that's
If
they add
trading
it.
goes into this game, yeah.
This is an Exxon game. Let's remember that.
I don't want to just be like, oh, it's an XCOM game, they're not going to do this. I would still like to give them a benefit of a doubt, even though I really
no,
shouldn't.
I see no reason to.
No, I just see no reason to
I
give
see no
Exxon
reason
that.
to.
I know.
Like
know.
I said, Nexon has cultivated this reputation for a reason.
Yes, yeah. Okay, now you guys are just fucking deflating me. All right, go on,
Yeah,
continue the conversation.
Until Nexon chooses to be better, this is what they.
Yeah. until they wanna try and fix that.
Yeah.
We're gonna deflate you. We're not gonna
On
let
the,
you
topic
inflate
of-
our listeners and get their hopes up.
Yeah, just
Yeah, sorry, I'm just describing Warframe, guys. Sorry, my bad.
moving to like something else really quickly.
Women, the women.
There's plenty of them. Let me tell you.
Yeah,
But like we played this game together a lot, and
we do.
I guess kind of in that whole character base. Some things I did notice were that like enemies were really. Did anyone else feel like the enemies were really weak and sparse outside of like that one game mode that we three
I
of
think
us
it's just
did?
because it was normal mode.
So,
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's entirely
I
possible.
think
But even
normal
still,
mode
like,
has a little
that
bit
didn't
to
feel
do with
great.
that. Yeah. I don't even necessarily want to say weak, because even the stronger ones you didn't get a good feel of because they were so isolated. like it's sparse. And sparse is the big thing here, because even
Yeah.
the stronger enemies just kind of melted when they're the only thing for you to shoot at.
Well,
Like,
we're gonna be
Yeah.
real. I'm gonna be real here. We leveled up at an insanely fast rate.
Yes.
Oh, for sure. But even with my little piddly level 1
don't-
weapon,
but-
I feel like I was still one
Yeah, but
tapping
you also
all of
have
the
character
enemies.
stats that are going up at levels.
100%. 100%.
So like I even with the launcher that was only 200 and something damage, or like DPS a second, I was still hitting like that first boss, or not the I was still hitting the grave walker. I was still hitting the grave walker for like
Yes.
for like almost 1,000 damage. So
And the problem with that is this is what we're basing like what's going forward on. Like I now, because of this, have no idea what it's going to be like. But like this is my big takeaway, was that the enemies felt like they died too fast and there weren't enough of them. Like I was playing as Glay and Freyna, and most of the party, like most of the time, like I was one tapping everything. But also, to the issue I have with sparsity, I was also not really participating as much as I would have liked, because characters like Valby and Bunny, absolutely run a train on everything.
Yeah, because everything just
Hey,
fucking died because
hey.
of this cunt up here. You looking at you, Aqua.
I'll just like if it's still the same when the game comes out, I'll leave Bunny on the back burner. All right, I can play another character.
Well, this isn't a complaint about you. This
Well,
is a complaint
yeah.
about like the state of the game. Like,
I'm not gonna play an
not
OP
sure.
character.
Like there are two options about this. Well, yeah, there's two options about this. Either there is a power discrepancy, which is, I think, pre-release entirely likely, or it is that certain, I almost said Warframes, certain Descendants are designed to be played in certain situations, which could also be the case. It'd be kind of lame, but I could definitely see the mindset there. Like Valby and Bunny are just really good at clearing rooms, but like Freyna was excellent as a bosser.
So, as someone who's played Warframe, I'm not gonna assuage your fears. In fact, I'm gonna reinforce them. This is, even without burst, this is still like early game, like the first few levels. So there's gonna be
Sure.
no fucking enemies. They're obviously gonna be fucking wet paper, and I agree with you. The on the first day when we actually like started enjoying the game was when we were in that boss room and he just started summoning like 12 motherfuckers, right? That's when like, oh shit,
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
That's when it's like, oh, okay, the game has started now, right? For us. But because this is semi open world, like because any four people can be in the one area or multiple, but like they can only like four people can be in like the one mission, right?
Sure.
They kind of have to make the enemies just, dog shit, at least for the early game. Like I think official release, we're gonna do the exact same thing even without the boost. We're just gonna fucking fly through them, and then once we start getting into, I don't know, maybe like if they gatekeep areas with mastery rank, it won't be until like MR10 where we actually start seeing some sponge characters.
I feel like they're going to catch a lot of shit for doing that. Though,
Here's what I think it's actually just going to be. I think we're going to have the same experience when we get in and play the game or whatever, but everything's going to change when we beat the story or like go through the game and then have to swap to hard mode or any harder difficulties. I think the initial run of the game is supposed to be like not super hard or whatever, not like super challenging.
It's trying to ease you into the game.
And as soon as we get into end game, that's when you're gonna have to nut up or shut up,
Yeah. as for your second point, Dollard, no, you are completely right. Like, because I keep on mentioning that Bunny is Volt in this game.
Yeah,
Volt
just so.
fucking clears. Saren clears. They clear rooms, they clear the next room, and depending on your range, they clear the next room above that.
Oh, goodness.
Right. So, Bunny, quite literally, will just run a train, just fly through fucking just all the weaklings, just going through zip, 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 all between the areas, right? And you are right. Freyna,
Reyna, yeah.
Just so Freyna.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. She, as you said, she melts bosses. Viessa will may not melt bosses, but it will help you melt bosses because of that armor stripping that she has on her ult.
And she's CC.
I really like, despite not actually playing her this time around, like reading up on what she did,
Yeah.
I am super excited to actually
She
put time
CC's
into
real
Viessa
good
at
too.
launch.
Yep.
So
Yep. See,
Viessa,
She
yeah.
it looks like that's going to be her absolute strength.
Yeah.
Viessa being what I was playing the most as, because I went and got the ultimate version. I have one clip about that. Before I say that, I will say, Dolly, you're not the only one who has that opinion. From what I've seen on the scarcity and such of enemies, I watched a couple people stream this Saturday. I watched a couple people stream this, and I was watching it where it was groups of friends and like in the stream playing and whatnot. And like two of them would be like sitting down doing emotes at each other, not actually doing the missions.
Yeah.
While the other two did it.
Yeah, not surprised.
Because
Yeah.
if all four of them did it, it went too quick. Like somebody was left with nothing to do anyways. You didn't need all four of them to do the mission, so yeah. It was a common point I saw across a few different people. But I will say I have a quip with Viessa, and like, so the two main people I put time into were Ultimate Viessa and I can't remember his name. I think his name was Blair or whatever, was the fire guy.
Yeah, Blair.
Yeah, Blair,
Yeah.
the fire guy. The cook.
Yeah. The burn status effect didn't seem to do any damage over time, and just seemed to, as far as I could tell, make enemies take more damage while they were burning. So if you shot somebody that was burning, they took more damage, as far as I
Right.
could tell. And then freezing people made them take damage over time and slowed them. So I was just like,
and
I feel like
Yeah,
the
Frost is a
burn.
little bit better.
I feel like the burn should be doing the damage over time, not the freeze. And the freeze should be the slow and maybe damage taken debuff, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
there was some weird dichotomy on like the status effects that I was just kind of like, that didn't make a whole lot of sense, because it was really weird.
Yeah, that does seem real weird.
It was really weird when I was walking around with Blair and I would, light the ground on fire and enemies would get burned and then they're just fine. Their health isn't really moving from that unless I start shooting them. And then if I freeze the ground under an enemy, they slow, they freeze, and then they just fall over because of the freeze like tick.
Yeah.
And I'm
The
just
armor
like,
strip
yeah,
as
yeah.
well.
I'm like, hold on, that's not how that's supposed to work. Like, I don't, or in my head, I'm like, that's not how that's supposed to work, right? So, it was strange. I just want to say that, but
Yeah. Like,
Guess
Blair
there's a
should
lot
have
of
been... Yeah, Blair should have been just Freyna, but fire. Like, he should have just been, like, the damage dealer, like, the fire damage dealer and all that.
he can deal damage. It's just not from his debuff.
Right.
Because when I put my hands out and I was spitting a flamethrower out, groups of enemies were melting. Or if I just
Oh, for sure, yeah.
blew up a big group with a giant fireball, they went down. So he dealt damage, just not in the way you would expect the flames to deal damage, so to speak, I guess.
So you're saying his dots doesn't do damage?
If it did, it was so small it was hard to notice.
Mm.
Whereas the freeze,
Well, that's unfortunate to hear.
whereas the freeze, like I could freeze them and then I'd watch them fall over without having to shoot them.
Yeah. VS is so fucking good.
VS is very good, and especially I noticed
She is.
against a lot of the like dungeon bosses, she's really good because they would all. I think every dungeon boss that I fought had that same like mechanic where they had like the 3 spheres float around them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Drop
Brag.
drop the blizzard right on top of that. Those spheres melt, and
For sure, yeah.
then you have the boss being slowed by the freeze and starting to take damage. So it was just
Oh, those bosses, if they were actually challenging, would be interesting. Because
I think
those mechanics are something else.
Yeah.
The 3 orbs, the having to break a shield, the tethered enemies.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think with enough health that they don't just immediately fall over, those could be challenging.
Yeah, I think you're gonna have to wait till hard mode for that, Dolet.
What?
Oh,
well,
yeah,
here's
so
here's
just
also a thing.
when just the 2 of us did it. It had a little bit of a
Yeah, I was gonna
a
say
little bit of a struggle.
we ran as a 4 stack throughout most of this game.
Yeah.
If you play this game by,
Well, yeah, and that was like my thing at the
it
beginning.
feels like the game doesn't scale. Which
I had not considered
Yeah,
this fact.
Oh,
the game probably should
yeah.
scale depending on who's in the party.
Your
Yeah,
party
how many people you have in a
size, yeah.
party.
That's what Warframe does.
Oh my goodness, yeah. How did I not consider that? Yeah, that's very likely the issue. Eh?
Yeah.
The enemy still did damage, as I could tell because I
They
played
did,
Bunny and
yes.
she is made of glass or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I did get down a couple times, and okay, and the boss itself, or like the 2 bosses that we fought, they weren't pushovers. All right,
Well, I think
Well,
the
okay,
Grave
well, I
Walker
mean,
was, but
the
definitely
second
not the
one.
second,
Second one
one.
wiped
That's
us.
true.
so
What was her name? It was like something mistress, something bunny,
I don't
something.
remember now.
I don't know. It was a
It's
hot
the
chick.
for anyone listening, it was the
yeah,
trailer.
I think it was like
the giant
hot
statuesque.
metal
the
mummy.
butterfly stunner.
That
or
does
something. Yeah,
steppies.
yeah. Anyway, like those bosses were at least interesting, and they probably would have been like
Yeah.
the Grave Walker would probably have been a lot harder if you were by yourself.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
surely, yeah.
But that second one, obviously, even for a 4 stack, it was difficult. So those might actually those might scale, or those might be properly tuned. But the
Right.
overworld doesn't seem like it scales to the people that
It
are in the
scales.
world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, now that I put any amount of thought into it, you're probably right about that.
same can be
I
said
see no
for
reason why
the
you'd be
like
wrong.
dungeon.
Yeah,
enemies
the
as well.
dungeons probably don't scale to the people.
Yeah, I don't think.
But and that's all
Yeah.
matchmaking. So it shouldn't. I don't think it should scale. Like at least for the dungeons or whatever. I don't think the dungeons should scale or whatever. Even if you going in there by yourself, it should be always tuned to 4 people, and it just doesn't feel like
To 4.
yeah,
because
and
they
it
expect
just
it.
doesn't feel like it
Yeah.
was actually tuned to 4, whatever. So
Maybe keep it static for like in terms of like actual like health values. Maybe keep that the same, but I think they should the enemy spawn should be scale between party sizes.
yeah, I think overworld should be scaled. I
agree.
I think dungeons should stay static, but be increased to a 4 stack of level of difficulty.
Yeah.
I like what you said, Nat, because I don't necessarily want enemies to be bullet sponges.
Yeah.
I like the fantasy of taking out hordes of enemies.
Yeah.
But I like that fantasy to be hordes of enemies.
Yeah.
Like that one game mode.
So yeah, I definitely like where your head's at. Yeah,
That one game mode was good.
So, oh man, we were going to go through how many? They were asking us to
21.
go through
Yeah,
21,
21 waves.
Yeah, 21 fucking
21
waves,
waves
of defense, fucking
of like
hell.
4
And
minutes.
they were
apiece.
increasingly
It
getting
was
increasingly
nuts.
getting harder and harder.
Yeah.
Yeah, that mode is going to be real fun with a 4
Yeah.
stack. See how far you can
And
make
with
it.
actual
I like
proper
that.
maxed out characters and weapons, because
True,
Oh,
true, true,
Matt
true.
wasn't here for that.
Matt and I knows.
No, I didn't do.
Yeah.
did you do that
No.
one?
No, he wasn't,
No.
but you've played it, Matt. You've played Warframe. You know what it's
I
like.
mean, I
Defense
can
mission.
tell what's happening off of y'all's description.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
defense mode. There
It's-
was one thing we had to defend or whatever, and it made us go through 21 timed waves. Each wave was 2 minutes. And Yeah,
2 minutes,
yeah,
not 4.
and
yeah.
and every time you like I think every 7, no, not every 7. After the first 7 waves, it gave you a screen where you could choose to leave or
Wasn't
to
it every
continue.
4 waves?
No, it wasn't every
Am I
4
crazy?
waves. I don't think it was every 4 waves
Oh.
because I don't think we got the.
I also think it was like 7, then 4.
Yeah, I think it was
Oh.
7, then 4, then 4. And then it would
That's weird.
it would ask you if you wanted to drop out or continue.
Extract or continue.
Yeah, and
For
then
more rewards.
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
want to continue on.
yeah, but they just got increased. Like I think we got the wave like 14, and there was a lot of enemies on the
Yeah,
screen.
we bailed. We bailed. There was 3 of us, and they were getting very, very beefy.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I
that
kept
does sound
telling
fun,
Dollar to fucking poison the fucking shield cunts.
Look, mate, I was trying. I have cooldowns.
Cooldown reduction.
Hey,
Always build
I
cooldown
kept
reduction.
one side. I kept one
Absolutely,
side down
yeah.
for a while.
Yeah, you did. It was very infrequently that I had to turn around and chuck a puddle over there.
And we had a water chick on the other
The
side
Valby.
as well, so we had
Valby
both
was also
sides
doing
locked
work,
down,
yeah.
and then just Doll and I were just defending the defense target.
And then when
I
Valby
unlocked the water
left, it
chick
got
and I
harder.
did not get to play her.
I mean, you could still play her.
What was that, Matthew?
I mean, I unlocked the water chick and I just didn't get a chance to play her. She was one I wanted to try out quite a bit, but
She is
Got 2
Yeah,
hours.
man.
I got
Yeah.
2 hours. We're still recording, guys.
just play right now. Fuck it. But yeah, she's kind of semi Yorelli and Hydroid because she does have.
I've
that,
seen
like,
her. Yeah, I've seen her. One
yeah,
of the
she-
streamers I watched was using her.
Yeah, because she has that the wave boards, and she goes faster and all that shit, and then she just throws down like puddles of water. Apparently, that just fucking disintegrates fucking enemies. So it's like, okay, cool.
She also has a
More
big.
angry.
She has a big group up ability.
Yeah,
it's kinda
nice.
Yeah.
So, the variety of the Descendants was also pretty nice for a starting batch. I have to say.
I agree.
I agree, yeah.
Actually, I do agree.
Yep.
Um,
I kind of wish Ajax was more Rhino than just
Guy in a suit.
generic fucking HP defense fucking tank guy.
It's because he's a Titan. He's a
Yeah.
Guardian. He's a Titan.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like in some of those higher level defense missions, like y'all were talking about, he'll be kind of crucial to keeping things off of that defense target because he can throw up that bubble, so they're not getting hit from range at least.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure
Maybe.
those enemies can just go through the bubble. So
Well, yeah,
The
that's
melee ones can.
that's the rest of the team's job to keep them from getting that close. Is that he can
True.
keep the range damage off of it, which is pretty crucial.
fair.
So I think every unit will end up having a use one way or another. I didn't feel like any unit was like, as far as I
Useless
could
or
see,
bad.
yeah, it was useless. Yeah, I mean, like you could make a use set for any of them, even even basic grenade dude. Like he had a lot of AOE and he could group things up. So I mean, he has his use, that's for sure.
I think Sharon sorta semi was bad in bosses. Because when the boss was targeting me, obviously I fucking went invisible because her invisibility just stops all aggro, right? Like it cuts it off. But the boss was still focused on me, and I'm just like, I don't know how I feel about this, because with Ash and Warframe, once you go invisibility, no aggro. They can try and guess as to where you are, but there's no like pinpoint accuracy, unlike what the
I
Grave
also-
Walker did with.
I also worry
Sharon.
about Sharon because if she's not good in bosses, I don't think she's ever going to outclass anyone else in the O4.
Yeah. Also, her ults. It's all right. It does like AOE electric damage, but like you can't walk. You're locked in. You're staying put, and it's.
She's Zareth?
So
yeah,
That's a choice.
yeah.
So I'd like to actually
Yeah,
kind of
close
just
enough.
remind about this because this was the final technical test,
Yeah, technical.
which means they were just wanting to make sure the game works. Or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
100%.
And it does.
This isn't like this isn't a beta. I don't think we're anywhere near close to a release for this game. There's no release date for it.
Well, we absolutely
are
it
because
releases
they're still
summer.
adamant the release is 2024 summer.
They got.
They have till August at the latest.
Yeah, they have
right?
all till August at the latest. I don't think they're gonna make that. This game gets delayed. I 100.
Oh, I do.
This thing game.
I do, because this game was apparently supposed to release at the tail end of last year.
But they pushed it back.
They pushed it back to the summer.
Right.
So, I think this game is getting released in. I personally think it's going to be released in no more than a month and a half.
I'm still expecting a shadow drop at SGF.
Yeah, I think it's going to be released about that week, to be honest. I think that's
that would make
genuinely
sense.
the safest assumption.
That's my assumption, is a shadow drop at SGF.
I wouldn't say Shadow. I reckon they're gonna do like a trailer and then it's like play the first Descendant right now on Steam.
That's called
That's
a
called
shadow drop.
Shadow drop.
Oh, right, okay, right.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they could do that. Yeah.
As I feel like for a game like this, if as long as the game works, the things that you would normally like tweak out in like a beta,
Like character skills, stats. And all
yeah,
that shit.
I feel like it's something they'll probably be able to do even if the game's live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So,
It's going to get a lot of grace because it's free to play.
yeah.
Yeah.
I guess they are calling it a final technical beta test. There's too many words.
Yeah. Too many words.
What's interesting about this, so yeah, I'm happy you said it again because you reminded me. I was looking at something, I forget what it was, but apparently this was PC exclusive.
Yes.
So this beta did not cover any console stuff. So which the previous alphas did.
Oh, did they?
So I wonder.
Huh.
Yeah. Well, again, according to what I read, I was not a part of either of them. I've only ever been interested in the PC.
Yeah, I've
part
only
of
played
this.
Right.
I only played the original alpha for the game.
I don't know if there's going to be another technical test that is this time
Console
for
only.
the console side,
Yeah.
just before its initial release, or if they've decided that they got enough information from the consoles already, and this was to make sure that PC stability was there and worked.
Right, yeah, because it was weird, like, because I noticed it with you guys, because it's easier to notice you guys in a party, that you all had the Steam icon next to your name, so I'm like, oh, there has to be cross-platform, because why the fuck would you have that there?
Exactly. Right. So. Right. Just so.
I imagine this was like more of like a server
PC
test.
technical, yeah, PC technical test.
Yeah, like I think they were like testing their servers a lot here, because it definitely felt like a lot more people got into this test than any of the previous alphas, as far as like
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I feel like a stress test is a good word to describe this test as well.
Yeah, possibly.
Mm-hmm.
As Aqua said, there's too
I'll
many
be
fucking
honest.
terms for this shit. Stress test, technical test, fucking all the same thing.
Yeah, I would like to see one more test happen. Just a complete open beta with crossplay enabled, just to make sure that
Yeah,
everything.
make sure it actually works. Yeah, that'd be great.
It would be nice, yeah.
So as you know, you can do. Let them know in their survey, because there is a survey for it.
True.
Ooh.
It's true, yeah.
But it might be that the next time that we all play together, console and PC, is just at release.
Yeah.
And they might just work out any problems after that.
Yeah, iron out any of the kinks and all that.
There's a strong chance of that. Nat made the joke earlier. I do want to point this out before anybody goes into this game and is a little like, oh, it's one of those games kind of things. This is made by Nexon, which is a Korean company. So just so people are aware, there's a lot of females in this game that are designed to be very attractive.
Yay, we're finally going around back to
And
this.
they
Thank
are
you.
all
Yeah, fair play.
very sexualized. with the
And
costumes
great.
Oh,
and
aggressively
everything.
so.
Awesome.
Just
Yeah.
be aware of that to anybody going into the game. Just,
VS's premium outfit. Holy shit. God damn, woman.
Like I was saying earlier, the customization for these characters is there, and yeah, I honestly, all boosters aside, they could have just been making money off of this. 'Cause
Oh
that's
yeah, just
clearly
from the
where-
costumes only. Absolutely.
Yeah, these costumes are going to make them money. I am unironically probably not going to wait to build one. I'm probably going to buy one for whoever I
Yeah.
play off rip,
that's fair.
Yeah.
just because they're good, and also you can't color the base outfit.
Like,
That's weird.
Literally, all they need to do is just take out the coloring mechanic for this game and then just put in the color palettes. They will make money off colors and costumes only. And
Yeah, for sure.
It will make them money. But
in a game like this, I have no problem. Like unlike Gacha, I have no problem spending money to take the character that I have chosen and make them more desirable to myself.
yeah, absolutely. Speaking of characters that you are going to choose, what are the 3 characters you guys are going to choose for the official release? I'm assuming it's the
very
same.
beginning?
VS
ones.
off the bat.
Yeah.
VS off the bat, yeah.
Yeah, VS off the bat.
Okay, no. So no. So here's a good thing as to why you all choose VS, all right? Is because when you guys are leveling, doing everything, you max out VS. So once you guys start to farm Ultimate VS, you don't have to worry about normal her. You can get rid of her as soon as you get Ultimate VS. That's your MR fodder.
Mm-hmm.
MR fodder is the levels you get for your mastery rank and all that. So, getting a character that has an ultimate from the get-go and doing her non-base before you get her ultimate is probably the best choice you can do in terms of, I wouldn't really say min-maxing, it's just like, just time. Like,
Yeah,
it's just...
That makes
yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, efficiency of your time and whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just more efficient. So, yeah, let's go
Well,
with
if the
VS.
and if they're gonna do it the same way that they did the technical test or whatever, I think the one thing we get right after it is Bunny. So for the story,
Yeah,
Mhm.
that
Yeah,
seems
exactly.
to be
I do think Bunny is going to be MSQ.
yeah,
Just free.
Yeah.
for
that
you.
does seem to be the case. Yeah,
here's an overpowered character.
which
Yeah, quite
She
literally.
did feel like the strongest character in the game. I'm not going to lie.
until
She got hit. In
For-
which case,
for-
well,
I think Aqua's kind of
Non-bosses,
answered this question
yes.
already. Of which character do you
true. enough.
which character do you think you're gonna like use the most as your like I don't want to say main, but your quote unquote main. Looking at
No,
it,
say main.
it depends
Main
on
would
it
be
depends on
correct.
what it is. Like I mean, Bunny's really good. All right, she is really good, and she's
Just not in bosses. She is.
yeah, she's not a very good boss character.
She's a mobber
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. But Freyna and Viesa and possibly also Blair as well, they will probably just melt bosses.
But I also didn't play.
I do suspect
also didn't
so,
play
yeah.
any other characters, so I don't really have a.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. And like early game, Bunny may not just be a boss character, but once you max her out, you've got modules in her. Trust me, even if
Oh,
her
yeah,
kit
they'll
is
all
like
carry,
dog shit for
yeah.
bosses, you would still be useful because just you've got a maxed out character and weapons and all that.
Also, love her laugh. So
her laugh is pretty
It's
great.
a good
The
thing
laugh
I
that
like
you can
her
fucking
voice.
hear miles away. Jesus
Oh my god,
Christ.
the global taunt.
Hey,
The
also,
actual
just
global taunt,
because we
yes.
talked about it with Wuwa. Yeah, the voice acting in this game is pretty good too. Gotta say, like,
Yeah, fucking Bunny,
I think
man.
it's hit and miss, but I'm way more critical about this.
that's fair.
Like
Mhm.
I'll be honest, despite saying I'm gonna pick up Viesa, and I'm not in love with her VO.
Really, I thought it was pretty
Um,
alright.
Yeah, I wasn't in love with it. I love Bunny though. I think Bunny is easily the best actress in the game,
I mean, I'll
Yeah.
agree to that for sure.
like bar none. Alpha has some hit and miss for me. I don't like the other guy, Jeremy? Question
no,
mark?
Jeremy was that
Right.
asshole NPC that we
Yeah, that guy. I didn't like
Yeah.
him.
What
Don't
did I
forget about
say?
Greg.
He was like blonde haired,
Greg.
Richtofen,
Greg. No, I love. So, A, I can't believe they named him Greg, and B, no, I love the baddies. I think the baddies are silly and over the top as they should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was
Fucking
dying laughing
Greg.
at with, like
Greg
one of
the
the
Destroyer.
like first big enemy you fight is named Greg. I was just
What a wild choice.
it was great.
To answer the question you asked, though, Matthew, we'll all only have the 3 options off the bat. And during the test, I played both Glay and Freyna. Glay seems really interesting, and it's neat running around as like what feels like a Death Stranding vampire character.
Mm-hmm.
But I have no idea where she's most useful. Freyna just felt really good to play as. So I'm probably going to go for those 2
Yeah,
first.
Freyna was a boss killer.
Yep.
Yeah, Freyna and Viesa.
Yep.
That's the plan anyway.
That is.
Which is a shame, because I wanted to say Ajax, because on paper, I like his skill set. Like, it's like, oh, in case I'm ever by myself, I have this strong defensive option and all that. But also, I want to be a cryomancer and I want to be a venomancer. So
Yeah.
That's fair.
All right. I have a question more specifically towards you, Matt.
Nat, you still need to answer my question.
Oh, what was the question again?
Which one do you think you'll be your main?
Oh, Viesa and Freyna.
Okay.
Unless for what for the characters that they've shown us, it'll be those 2. Now, if they obviously do an edgy character, I'll probably switch over, but it's definitely Viesa and Freyna for mine.
I believe there's 2 more characters on the way, but neither of them really fulfill your aesthetic.
Of course not.
Like, there's the male medic from the trailer, and someone who looks like Lepic again. So, yeah.
I love generic white man MC guy.
I don't know if they'll be in at launch, but they have shown them off already, so... And they weren't in the technical test. So
Right.
look forward to that.
Alright, so question for you, specifically, Matt, but if you guys want to answer it as well, go right ahead. Do you think they're gonna combine elements to create new elements for this game in the future?
No.
You don't think so?
With the system working the way it is now, no. If they want to do something like that, like I was saying with the debuffs earlier, that needs a lot of work.
Right.
Because I don't think the debuffs are very intuitive. I don't think, and I don't think the element system is
the
very
debuffs is
in-depth.
literally just a red box above the enemy's head, and you just can't tell what the fuck it is because it's so fast paced.
I don't think the element system that's there currently is very in depth to really build something like that in its current state. Like,
well, I mean, that's what Warframe had before the change, because it literally just had fire, ice, lightning, and toxin.
That still,
which is what we have.
That still felt more impactful, like compared to this.
Right.
So I think what they have here needs to be refined a lot before you get something like that. And even then, I'm not sure they're going to do something like that. I think it's more likely they're just going to add a new damage type,
more elements.
Yeah, that's probably fair, because these like, the elemental characters were there off the rip, and then the characters that they've added after that are characters like Volby, who is water based, and Glay, who is based around balancing HP because no shield. So they'll probably just introduce different gimmicks.
Also, they have a no attribute as an attribute, so
this is true. This is Glay. Yeah.
Yes.
They can also just do if it's not one of the listed attributes, it's no attribute, so that can be whatever we want.
We also didn't do any of the
gotcha.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know the dealio.
Yeah, those were kind of strange.
Not
like
working.
how you interact with those. Like, it wasn't very straightforward, and I don't think we ever got like a tutorial mission talking about them either. So
yeah, the the one that we tried interacting with, it required no attribute character. So.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it did say that.
So I think we
So
all
that'll
had to.
be,
We had to.
pick
It was either
and
one person had to
Blade.
activate it as a non-attribute character, or we all had to be non-attribute characters.
Right, yeah. And yeah, that just even more of pretty much you just gotta grind for everyone and level them up and all that so you can be ready for any type of content.
Which, I mean, in theory, if it requires everyone to use a specific attribute or something like that, that's neat. It makes for a little bit of diversity to the gameplay, and it will potentially force people to switch up their playstyle.
Yes
so long
and
as
no,
getting
because
so long as getting Descendants is easy enough to justify that.
It didn't seem too difficult based
the
off of what it looked like in that test. You farm materials, and then you get the drops, which are drop chances from dungeons and bosses. So,
yeah.
and then some missions in some cases, I think, even had some Descendant stuff droppable.
Yeah, you had to farm the shapers, all right? And those shapers are what you use to crack open the amorphous stuff, all right? But you also needed to farm other things to get the
relics.
amorphous stuff, and then you had to fight bosses to crack open the amorphous stuff with the shaper. So that, that's very confusing. we figured it out. We figured it out yesterday. There's these like little like gotcha balls that you get, like the little amorphous stuff. They're relics, pretty much. All right, and there's an item that you have to farm because you get like you can get a multiple of them. All right, and you had to farm both of those, and to crack them open to get a chance to get the stuff that's inside. You had to kill the bosses like Gravekeeper or Gravewalker and the other one. And at the end, that thing that you interact with after the boss, you use the shaper to crack open the amorphous stuff, and it gives you a chance of getting like certain things. So it's farming on top of farming on top of farming is what it is.
Yeah, I was about to say that sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah. But even still, I find that like I don't think it'll be asking you to form specific parties because I do think even given your reluctance to think that this is too much, that it is in fact too much to ask of people, especially if you want someone to like actually.
I don't think that's what they're doing. I'm just saying like if that is what they were doing, I'm like that's interesting, and it does add a bit of diversity. But I don't think that's what they're doing. Like I agree with what you were just saying. Like I don't think that's the case, but it would be an interesting bit of diversity to everything if they did do that.
Right.
So, but yeah.
So have we covered about everything?
Yeah, I think we kind of have.
I mean, I still want to talk about the women, but you know, that's just me.
You can go live after this on your stream and talk about
random about the women. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
No, I'm gonna go play 14 with my mate afterwards. So, yeah.
But yeah, it was a really fun test, and I think we were all pretty excited for it beforehand, and now we're all even more excited. I think overall that was the verdict.
I won't lie, I wasn't excited before it because I had totally forgotten about this game existing. I played the first alpha, and then Dalit was like, yeah, we're getting into technical test for the I got into the technical test for the for that last first Descendant. I was like, I played that game like 4 years ago. And then I just clicked on Steam and I was like, oh hey, I got it in tow. So
nice.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
I'm glad you did. It was nice to have a 4-man to run everything with. Made it interesting.
Yeah, it was. Now, us being 4-man might have skewed some things, but I think in the overall general scope of things, it's fine. It's playable. It's fun for the most part.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah.
And it's Dalit's favorite price. Free.
I
Free.
love it. I do. It comes with some baggage, but I'll take it.
It's free, but it has $1,000 microtransactions shop. Okay, that's his favorite prize.
No, I don't know about that last bit, but you know, it certainly is true of this one.
Jeez. Well, all right, guys. Aqua, we do very much thank you for joining us.
Yeah, it's about damn time.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
Yeah, I meant to do this a lot sooner. I still plan to bring you on for an episode of Perpetual Backlog with the Perpetual Backlog boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you asked, I was like, you're bringing me on for a gotcha game and a technical test that we did. I'm like, what? I'm like, this is not what I expected.
In reality, I wanted to bring you on ages ago to talk about like just gaming backlogs and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I thought that'd be a fun topic. Because I know you have a massive log of games you still need to play, like myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that would be a fun thing to
My
chat
entire
about.
Steam
And that's
library?
something. Yeah, exactly. And that's still an episode I think we will do in the future.
Ooh.
But it was just we kept having interesting things happen that we talked about. But no, for our listeners, you can definitely expect to hear Aqua's voice on here again. And if you want to hear more of Aqua's voice, you can always go check out the Perpetual Backlog podcast, Perpetual Backlog on YouTube, on Twitter. No, Twitter is your Twitter, so.
Twitter.
yeah.
It says Perpetual Backlog, but it's at Aqua, a.k.a. yada yada yada, all that jazz.
And the links for their podcast and his Twitter and everything will be in the description, so y'all can go check that out there. You can listen to Aqua talk about some games and some game news and stuff, along with his co-host of Dalit and another good friend, Leek. So it's a great podcast. Definitely recommend it. And all very good friends of us over here, and we are very thankful to have Aqua join us again. Appreciate it. This was a weird first one to bring you on to, like you said, but yeah, I figured, hey, you were here with us for both of these games, so come hang out and chat with us for a bit.
Yeah. It's good to be on. Good to be on.
Cool. I'm glad you say that because we're bringing you back. You don't get a choice. We're bringing you back at some point.
Nah, okay. I have days open that aren't Tuesday, so.
There we go. So, all right, listeners, we thank you so much for listening. As always, if you got into the technical test, let us know what you thought in the comments below on the YouTube side, over on Twitter. You know the hashtags. You know where to find us. It's all there. And give us your thoughts on the technical test if you got in. Give us your thoughts if you just got to watch some of it. Are you excited for it? And leave some thoughts about Wuthering Waves as well if you'd like. You're definitely going to hear more about that in the future, I'm sure, because we might even do a full episode dedicated to just that in the future. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, a proper episode for it.
But as always, we appreciate you all ever so greatly, and we will see you all next time.
Take care, everyone.
Good now.
But